If you're having shoulder pain, these are great 2 exercises to start with. This is going to be a quick video to show you 2 of the most important exercises to activate the muscles in the shoulder and therefore to stabilize the shoulder joint. If you're having shoulder pain, these are great 2 exercises to start with, to add before you work out or after you work out. First one is to turn on the infraspinatus muscle. You stand with the back of your forearm against the wall and your elbow at your side. Squeeze your bicep into your pec muscle, and then you press the back of your forearm into the wall. Pretty easy, and you hold for about 20 seconds. Take it up to an intensity above 5. And then rest for a few seconds. And then you go again. So a few things to make the form much more effective. First, have the hand tense and the muscles of the forearm tense. If you tense the whole chain all the way down to the fingers through the forearm, then the rest of the muscles up into the shoulder will work a little bit harder. So you can have your hand open or you can make a fist. Either way, make sure your forearm muscles and your hands are tense. Right? Okay, the second one is where to position the humerus. This is your humerus, and this is the side line. That's the lateral line, right? And you want your humerus to be just a little bit in front of your side line. So you can tell because my elbow is a little bit in front of the side line. What happens to a lot of people is as they start to rotate externally, this is the movement that we're doing, except into a wall, right? What happens to most people is as they start to rotate externally, they recruit. If that infraspinatus muscle is not quite firing, not quite active enough, they'll start to recruit the posterior delt, and they'll start to bring their hand back like this, their arm back like this. So it's advantageous to try to keep the humerus in front of the sideline, right? So humerus in front of the sideline, and then you squeeze your bicep into your pec muscle. Sometimes they say hold a towel right here, and that's fine too. You can roll up a towel and put it there, that's okay. But if you don't have one, just squeeze your arm into your pectoralis muscle. Squeeze your arm into your pec. So, tense forearm, humerus in front of the side or lateral line, and then the back of the forearm pressing into the wall. And I'm doing this motion, right? And I'm doing this motion. So this is external rotation, and that's accomplished by the infraspinatus as well as the teres muscles. Now, the second one is to activate the lat.
I'm going to take 15 seconds to ask you for a donation. If this video helps you, please say thank you by sending a donation using one of the links in the description. Your helping to support me financially makes an enormous difference to my morale and frees me up from doing other jobs so I can do this more. Thank you. Now on with the video.
So for this one, you need the edge of a doorway that you can hold on to. Don't try to hold on to something flat like this, right? You need to be able to actually hook your fingers onto something. Right, so I'm going to stand facing my hand, my chest is square to my hand, and I'm not off to the side like this or like that, right? I'm standing just like this, right? I'm standing just like this with my arm flexed right up overhead. I hope that angle is clear on the camera. Right? And then I'm going to step back behind. So I'm taking this leg back behind me and I'm standing in a lunge. So I'm standing in a lunge like this. And I'm trying to create this line from my arm down through my body into my leg. Okay, and then once I'm in that position, I can feel my shoulder blades starting to elevate. See how my shoulder is going up and partially see how my shoulder's rising up, right? Partially occluding my face, which some would say is a drastic improvement. So now I'm going to try to guide that shoulder blade down. I'm going to try to send it down using my latissimus dorsi muscle. Another way to think about it is I'm trying to pull this molding off of the wall. I don't like this angle very much, so I'm just going to step it to the side. and you can see that I'm shaking. That's because my forearm muscles are inactive right now. So I need to work those a little bit more. Again, hold for 20 seconds, and then release. And for this one, I like to lower the arm, let it rest a little bit, and do 20 seconds 3 times. Usually if I do the infraspinatus isometrics and then the latissimus dorsi isometrics, usually if I do those 2 or 3 times, those muscles are awake enough that I don't have any shoulder pain and I can move and function the way that I want to. Otherwise, I sometimes notice some asymmetry in the way that I pull or in the way that I push, or sometimes I have some shoulder pain when I'm doing pushing or pulling. The latissimus dorsi activation is especially important. The form itself to set it up is really pretty simple. You simply flex the arm straight to the front and keep it there, not out to the side, not toward the midline, just right to the front. You're in a position, hold on to something that you can grip, and then you take your hips back in space so that you're creating a line from your arm down through your torso. And you depress your shoulder blade, pulling with the left. So if you touch below your shoulder blade on the side, you should feel those muscles flexing. If you take your hand down and around the back, 2 times, you should feel the fibers of the latissimus dorsi all the way down to where your hip bone is, to where right about where your QLs start. You should feel those muscles, those fibers firing. So then what you can do, that's tiring. So then what you can do for your 3rd set, or in the future, once that muscle is more activated, then you can try pulling from the bottom of the fibers rather than from the top of the fibers. And conceptually, that just gives you a different place to focus. It connects the mind with the body, which is always important. A couple pointers for that one. First of all, when you're in position, make sure that your neck is back a little bit. You can just think about tucking your chin. For most people, that'll do it. Most of us have a tendency when our arm is up and we're reaching forward, most of us have a tendency to also crane or turtle our neck forward, right? So you bring your head back in space, or you can simply tuck your chin a little bit. Try not to look down. Don't flex your neck, but tuck your chin. That's called packing your neck. That'll keep it nice and stable. Also remember, you're only as strong as your weakest link. So if your grip starts to give out, that's it for that moment. That's it for that set or for that day. And you just come back to it another time. Your grip will get stronger just like everything else. If you want to have an easier time, don't use a door jamb. Use something that you can hold on to, like a weight rack at the gym, or some aspect of a bar or a pull-up bar that you may find on a playground. But in absence of that, this works just fine. You can also get an assistance band. Most of my clients, I show them which bands to buy, but they make these thick assistance bands that are really, really long. You can put the assistance band through the door way up high, close it, and then standing on this side of it, you hold onto the band and you pull that way. So there's a few tools that you can use in order to activate the latissimus dorsi. Okay, that's it for today. I'll expand on this later. I kept it short tonight because I had a client who needed this information this week. So I hope this is useful to you guys. Take it easy.